Hey, Nicole Johnson again. I've got another nightmare tenant story. Again, not really a nightmare tenant, but just a funny, quirky thing from our duplex again in Ohio, because we got so many good lessons from this investment property. But we had kept on to this duplex. We had held on to it for a long time. So even when we moved from Southeast Ohio, we kept it as a rental when we were in Cincinnati. And then we even kept it for a while when we moved to Colorado. We held on to it. The rent was fine. We bought it for super cheap, and it was, good to have in our portfolio as we're getting into full-time real estate and wanting to acquire more rentals. So we tried to hold on to this property and manage it from Colorado all the way out in Ohio. Well, back in the time, so this would have been like 2012, 2013. So not super long ago. We definitely had the internet. Craigslist was really popular, all of these things. But going back to this town, it was like living back in time. So it's still kind of, it is Amish country, but it was in a town. Things are just slower back there. They just do things a little different. So every time we had a vacancy, rather than putting an ad on Zillow or putting an ad on Craigslist, I had to call the local newspaper and put an ad in the newspaper to look for a tenant for this property. Like I said, this wasn't that long ago. This was 2012, 2013. The internet was definitely up and running, but I still had to call in, and the best way to find a tenant was to put a local ad in the newspaper to try and find somebody. And every time we put no smoking, we would get very, very, very few phone calls on there. And so it was just funny trying to manage this rental and do the newspaper ads. And so eventually we ended up selling it and just getting rid of it because it was really hard to manage when you're still trying to do everything via paper and not electronically. So anyways, that was just another funny one of those experiences that we had with our time back in Ohio. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get out of being a landlord and want to look into investing in mortgage notes, so you just have to deal with paperwork and not people, hit me up, send me a message. Happy to share more information. I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.